Hello, fabulous superstar Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We have an active sky this month, I'll tell you, and we've got you really starting to come into your power in meaningful ways. Yes, I'm talking about Mars retrograde season. The Mars retrograde season begins this month, and it is happening in your sign right around the 26th of the month. Depending on where you are on the planet, you can give or take a day on either side. But ultimately, what this tells me is that what is transpiring right now is important, and it's important to you. And what is transpiring now isn't just a one-off thing, but you will be returning to the themes, returning to the matters, returning to the inspiration that comes up now in the weeks and months ahead. But in particular, this is where Mars will return to once we get into October. So do pay attention to what transpires now. It looks like in some way it'll be lighting you up and giving you juice and giving you motivation for quite a while going forward from here, but no conclusions just yet, okay? You'll be putting in the time and you'll be putting in the passion at that, but the rewards will come once we get you into the month of October. Well, elsewhere in the sky, in addition to this, we've got a new moon happening, and this new moon is happening as we move towards the middle of the month. Now, this new moon is happening in fellow air sign Gemini. I love that for you because it means that while other people, they may handle this energy a little bit differently, you'll find a way to use it to your advantage. But here's the thing. This new moon is speaking with Neptune, and it is speaking with Neptune in a type of conversation that astrologers call a square. And to put it very simply, the energy around this time can be a little confusing. There are going to be a lot of people out there who feel that in at least one area of life, they are like stepping into a Mercury retrograde. Like all of a sudden they find themselves having a Mercury retrograde moment, but Mercury isn't retrograde, and then they're coming out of it. Now for you, this energy is playing out in a part of the sky that has to do with a few things, but it really comes down to how you feel. It comes down to matters of heart and matters of passion and desire. So what's one area we feel a lot of passion and desire? Well, love, right? And the thing is that the way that Neptune is speaking, and there's a confusing energy around this time, the important thing to remember is to pace yourself, okay? Because it's possible that a situation is happening and you're not interpreting it correctly. Now, that can mean more pessimistically. That is the likelihood, like someone's flirting with you and you just don't even realize it, like it's going over your head. If you're open to meeting someone new, this can be a time when you may be interacting and the person who's not really flirting with you, it feels like they are, and the person who's really flirting with you, you're just not aware. Like these are the kind of things that can happen. It can make for interesting stories at the very least. The thing though you do want to remember with this is, regardless of whether you're, using this energy in a love way, this is not the time to mix fun and alcohol or any kind of substance that would depress, because this is where things can sort of go in a direction that you really didn't want and didn't anticipate, or maybe you did anticipate, but sometimes things can go in ways that you would rather they didn't. And especially with Mars in your sign this month, especially with Mars about to go retrograde this month, really Mars is about owning yourself and owning your power and owning your physicality as well, like appreciating the connection that spirit has with body and how that plays out in every area of life. But of course, that includes in flirtation and romance and love as well. And with Mars in your sign, and especially with Mars slowing down and beginning to go retro, it's about becoming aware and honoring of all of your emotions and all the signals that your body is sending you. And especially with the way that Neptune is speaking with this new moon as we get to the middle of the month, well, it just tells me that, if you introduce anything else into it, it could kind of disrupt some signals that may actually be to your advantage to pick up on. Now, if you are someone who is in an established bond, this can be a time where it may not necessarily feel like you're being understood fully on a heart level, or it may be that you're really desiring some sort of a romantic gesture or to have fun with your partner, and it's just not flowing the way that you'd hoped. Well, that's okay. That happens. One of the very best ways to use this energy, because this part of the sky has to do with creativity is to consider where it is that you could tap into more of your creative voice, but without putting any kind of expectations, like those people who sit down and expect to be brilliant, well, they rarely are. But the people who sit down and just enter a moment of flow, well, that is from which true brilliance can arise. So allow yourself to have that playtime without necessarily expecting yourself to have a whole lot of structure, especially at this time, and you'll be able to use this energy that much more. Now, this is a part of the sky that has to do with other things besides love. It has to do with things like children, whether it's children you want or children that you have. Now, the thing is here, especially where it comes to fertility can go in like unexpected directions. So if you really are not wanting to have children, this is where that can pop up. If you really are wanting to have children, this is where you're putting so much pressure on yourself to make that happen that it's, not a good place for you to be in. And so the best thing to do, again, surrender. Remember, Neptune ultimately is about faith, is about trust. How much are you going to trust your life? How much are you going to trust the universe? It's not always easy, especially with Mars in your sign. The inclination is to trust yourself. The inclination is to work on your own behalf, to go where it is that you desire to go, to know your truth and want to live that truth, and that should be enough. But then there are times of surrender and the grace that comes from surrender. A new moon like this is asking you to allow that surrender to take place, knowing that you will be led in a good place as well. I would also be mindful of any kind of creative expressions you have at this time. Yes, it's always a good time to sit with your own creative voice and see what comes forward. But if you are a creative person, if you're looking to, present to a larger audience, I would be a little bit mindful of scheduling something really big or really important to you, especially right around this particular new moon. Now, it could go amazing and it could feel amazing, and that's great. I would just like you to feel good about what it is that does transpire in the moment of presentation of what it is that you're sharing. Because that's really what it comes down to with this, is how do you feel about what you presented? People may love it. Like if the whole world tells you you're amazing, but something within you is feeling that what you shared wasn't really authentic. Well, for someone like you as an Aquarius, where authenticity matters to you so much, that would not be that good a feeling. And so just if you can, strive to be mindful that you are coming from a place that feels authentic and genuine within yourself. Now, as we move towards the later part of the month, towards the end of the month, we are going to have a full moon. Now, this full moon is happening in the sign just before yours. And it's important because ultimately what this full moon is doing is it is setting the stage. It is setting the stage for even bigger things coming up, especially coming up next month, because what's happening next month? An eclipse. Yep, I spoke to you about this in the 2018 horoscope for your sign. You may remember if you downloaded that on my website, nadiyashah.com. But this is telling me that this is a time that is really about the preparation. It is preparing you for the revelation that is coming for you as we get to the end of next month. So of course, I'll be here to talk about it as well as we go along. And of course, eclipses, you've been used to this. You've been having eclipses for a while now, right? For the last, I would say at least a year, over a year now. And you'll be having eclipses going forward. Okay, so we're starting to round up, but we're not totally done with eclipses in your sign just yet. And the eclipse is coming next month, and it is going to be an important one, and it's going to be one that ultimately is going to help you to redefine yourself in a moment, in an instant, and ultimately in a way that will lead you in a direction that you like very much. Well, it is ultimately the full moon towards the end of this month. The fact that it is meeting Saturn in the sky, well, it tells me that there's a lot of stability energy around this time. At the same time, it is helping you to clear the way, to understand where healthy closures not only need to happen, but that you are ready for them to happen at this time, and to allow them to happen with maturity and with grace, knowing that the space you create will allow the new and the next and the amazing to enter What I love about this month for you is, well, it feels big. Mars in your sign will make it feel big. But at the same time, there are subtleties here as well. And it'll be up to you to tune into those subtleties in a way that empowers you. But if Mars in your sign and Mars going retro this month teaches you anything, it is going to be absolute empowerment. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for it. You can get a video like this every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. Special horoscopes. Superstars get them, and you can also download them on my website at nadiyashah.com as well. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.